Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can obtain a so-called dominance score using SPSS more or less. The reason why I'm saying more or less is because I'm going to be using a little bit of a trickery and somewhat using SPSS as a calculator, but okay, it can be done. The dominance score is actually the proportion of cells or cases, sorry, that is above the hypothesized median versus ones that are below it. It's a very simple effect size measure that could be used with, for example, a one sample sign test or a one sample Wilcoxon test. In order to do this with SPSS, there's no menu item where we can just click and get it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to transform my data by using some visual binning. Let me put this into view. The variable I'm going to be using is teacher motivate, which was 4.1, which has the scores of the responses to if the students felt motivated by the teacher. Once I selected this one, I can continue and then I can bin this data. So I need to give it a new name. So let's call this teach motivate bin. And I'm going to use the upper endpoint exclude. Now the first value I want are, let's say I have as a hypothesized median 2. So I want all the values up to 2. And then the next value is going to be 3, so it should therefore then have all the ones that are exactly 2 in this one. And the last one is then everything that's above is 3 or above. Now the ones that are below I'm going to label with -1, the ones that are exactly the same with a 0, and the high ones I'm going to label simply with a 1. All right. That should take care of this binning part. So let's hit OK. It's warning me that we'll create one additional variable, which should be that binned one. In the output, nothing much changes, but if I go here and all the way to the end, I now have here nicely my binned data. I can actually also switch between the views, and here it's numerical. This was a missing one, which it just kept in there. The next thing I need are the proportions, which is actually the relative frequencies for each of these, so I can use analyze descriptive statistics frequencies. Scroll all the way down to the binned version and just click on OK, and that should give me then the percentages, which are therefore the proportions. So this is the double click and another double click, and this is therefore the proportion that were below. So I'm going to copy and then paste that value in here. But I don't want it in the hundreds. I actually want it as a proportion, or well, we could just leave it in as a percentage. This was below. I also want the one that was above, so that's this one. So copy in that one and then paste that over here. If I want, I can actually give these new names. So this was the percentage underscore below, and this was the percentage underscore above. Now the dominance score is actually simply just the difference between these two. So what we could do is transform compute variable and say the D for dominance equals the percentage that was above minus the percentage that was below, and click on OK, and that's our dominance score. We could actually also actually we should divide this by 100, so it's a 0.09. If I want actually a so-called VDA-like measure, that's always between 0 and 1, because this one will always be between -1 and +1. What I can do is I can add 100 and then divide by 2. So what I could do here is transform compute variable, and then let's say VDA is that same one, all of this, but we add 100 because I'm using percentages, and then divide by 2, and that should give me a VDA-like measure, and in this case about 54.55. Alright, I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching.